So I tried monk mode for 430 days. And if you don't know what monk mode is, basically it's a protocol of intense focus. And what this looks like is, not going out, not partying, not drinking, not eating junk food, just staying at home, working, exercising, doing the things that you need to do that you know is going to help you get the outcomes that you want. And what I did was when I first started my agency, I was in a period where I did monk mode for this entire period. So what I want to do is walk you through exactly how it worked, what I did, what my routine looked like, and also what the outcomes of it was. Because during this time was the period of the absolute most transformation that I've ever seen in my life. So very recently, this whole monk mode thing's become very popular. Everyone's been doing it. You see all these videos on YouTube. But in reality, when I started monk mode, I didn't even know what it was. And the only reason that I did it was in my last year of high school. I think this was around 2020. It was the time of the virus. So because of that, it was, a lot of the time where we were working from home, studying at home. We didn't actually go into class or do anything. So because of that, the next year after I finished high school, I was meant to study software engineering. But because I was focused on the business, because I didn't really believe in studying, because I thought that, I was going to make the business work, I decided to take a gap year. And what this basically means is that for a year, I do basically just not studying for a year. And then after that year, I go back to studying, I go to university, I do the degree, and I do all of that. But my intentions was that in this year, I'm going to make the business work, I'm going to make money, and I'm going to move out. In my parents' eyes, they were thinking, wow, what a great guy. He's, trying to stay safe. He's not trying to catch anything, and he's going to take the year, and then he's going to sacrifice it so that he can go to university next year. But in reality, that year started, right, the year after high school, and I got straight into it. I wasn't even able to go out. I wasn't even able to drink. I was living with my parents, and because of that, I was essentially forced into monk mode because I knew that I had to make the business work. I had to work hard, and if I didn't, I was going to be studying for 4 to 5 years if I didn't make it work. So of course, I put all my energy into it. So in reality, this period of lockdown where everyone was home was actually one of the biggest blessings because no one was going out. All I could do was talk to people on the phone, and I was just with my family. So because of that, even though the situation wasn't ideal in the sense that, you stay with family and it's not the best environment and they constantly walk in the room while you're working and they don't understand how it works and they ask you to, take out the trash or whatever it might be. Even though it's not completely ideal, it didn't allow me to do all the things that most people waste their time with, like drinking, doing drugs, going out, all these things. And I was just forced to work. So my routine was actually extremely simple. What I would do was I would go to sleep pretty early. I would probably be in bed at around 10 to 11 p.m. But most importantly, I woke up at around 6 to 7 a.m. every single day. The first thing I would do in the morning, and this is something I learned from Sam Ovens, but it's called the Alchemy of Self. So to give a quick explanation of what it was, it's a document where you would list all your goals, and then from the goals, you would list the type of person that you need to become to actually achieve these goals. So the point of it was that every morning you would look at your goals and you remind yourself of what you would need to do every day to actually get these goals. So it keeps you on track, right? Most people, they don't achieve their goals, not because they're not willing to work, but just because they forget what they need to do to actually get the outcome. So I would look at that every single morning, and keep in mind, at this point, I was making no money. I was at $0 per month with the agency. This is still when I was running the lead generation agency, helping marketing agencies to get more bookings. I was making no money, but I was doing this alchemy every day, first thing in the morning. So I would, remind myself of where I want to go. I'd be visualizing the big house in Cape Town, visualizing having iPhones, MacBooks, all these things, and just reminding myself every day. So I'd finish this, I'd get dressed, brush my teeth, shower, whatever, and then I'd go straight into work, right? Straight into it. No, biohacking routine, no, I didn't even care about sunlight and all that. I just went straight to work. And simply put, I would work with no distractions. So I would have noise cancelling headphones on. I'd listen to something called Brain FM. Thinking back on it now, it's super nerdy to do this, but it's listening to binaural beats where it just sounds like dugga 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 in your head the whole time. And it just really helps you to focus. I honestly don't know if it helped that much, but I think it was very good. So I would put the noise cancelling headphones on. I would listen to that binaural beats. I would have key tasks to do every single day. So the main things were sending outreach, getting bookings, taking sales calls, practicing sales. And this was the priority of the day. So making sure I did the most important tasks every single day. And at this time, it was getting my first client. So what this looked like was I would be on LinkedIn. I would send voice notes to potential prospects. And I would say, look, this is my service. This is how I think I can help. Would you be open to a call? And then I would get bookings. I think I was booking around 1 to 3 bookings every single day. And I would just do this day after day after day, consistently. And I never missed any day. So this would be the first thing I focus on, the most important thing, getting more people in the business, more clients. And then from there, again, I wouldn't check my phone. It would be on airplane mode in another room. I wouldn't check Instagram. I wouldn't check YouTube. I wouldn't check anything. I would just focus on the main thing at that time. And I would continue working, keep going through the tasks. I'd probably work for like an hour. And then after that hour, I would just literally just stand outside, no music, no nothing. And then just like think, you know, and you just let like your mind like just relax a bit and you get back into it. So I would just do that for, 3 to 5 hours every single day without missing anything, because there were no distractions. Like there were no girls, there was no parties, nothing. So I would do that, continue. I wouldn't eat anything for this entire period. And then I'd go to lunch. So lunch, again, was super basic because it's not like I had any money. So I would just have whatever was there. And in most cases, it was just like the most basic thing I could find. So I wasn't like optimizing for macronutrients or whatever. Like I would just eat whatever's there. And in most cases, it was like, I don't know, like chicken or maybe even like a sandwich. I don't think that would qualify for monk mode, if I was just eating sandwiches every day. But either way, it was there. So I was just doing that every single day. Then I would eat that, go back to work. And then usually at that time, I'd take a lot of the sales calls. And on those calls, try to close the deals. If I don't, then, it's fine. Just carry on, keep doing it every single day. And then by the evening, most people would, check their phones. They would scroll on Instagram. I didn't even have Instagram. I deleted it for the entire 400-day monk mode. I didn't have it on my phone. So I would check my phone and it'd be like, okay, no messages because I'm not talking to any girls right now because I can't even see them. No Instagram. And it's like, what do you do? Like the biggest procrastination that I would have is like just scrolling through my photos. Like it gets boring very quick. And then also like YouTube potentially, but I'd have it blocked. So I wouldn't be able to do anything. So I forced myself into boredom. But because of that, because I forced myself into boredom, all I thought about was work. So I would do this every single day, do the monk mode, work, eat, monk mode, work, all of it. And then by the end of the period, this was obviously when I had no money. I was just starting out. And by the end of the 400 days, it got me to the point where I was able to move out. This was probably the biggest one, move out from my family's place and get into a place where I could actually focus, I could actually work, and I just had my own space. So I could set it up however I wanted it. No one would ask me to like do the dishes while I'm trying to do some deep work. Then also, we scaled the business to around $20,000 per month. This is going from 0 to 20,000. And then at the same time, just develop this sense of self where I was confident. I enjoyed taking sales calls. I wasn't scared of taking calls. I didn't have crazy anxiety before the calls took place. I remember when I first started and I had a sales call, like I would wake up in actual like stress because I would have to speak to someone later today. But after that monk mode period, all of that went away. And I think one of the biggest things from monk mode is that it kept me from getting distracted. All the things that people would usually face, going out, Instagram, parties, all of that, it wasn't there. It wasn't an option. And I deleted Instagram. So because of that, the progress I was able to make is massive. Because that first, let's say 10K, 20K, 30K, is honestly the most difficult. And then beyond that point, it's just a matter of doing more of what's already working so that you can get to the 50 or 100,000 per month. So after this period, the monk mode part of it kind of started dying down a bit. And I went back into more of a normal existence where I was actually seeing people. I had my own place, just enjoying it a bit more. And this was for a period of, let's say, 6 months. And this is where we really scaled rapidly from 20,000 to around 50,000 per month while maintaining the 80 to 90% margin. So after this transition, this is when we moved to the done with you model where we're helping other agency owners to make the same transition in a much shorter amount of time. So getting to, let's say, the 50,000, 60,000 per month while maintaining the margins, while automating the agency so that you can, skip the monk mode for 430 days and you can get to that point within, a much quicker time frame. And if you want more information on that, you can just check the description. It'll walk you through what you need to do. You can just send me a message on Instagram to get some more information. But besides that, if you want the full story of how I went exactly from 0 to 50K per month, I'd recommend checking out this video over here.